Ready for the coming in pot?
And grab the lighter.
Coming. Which one?
The one on the table there?
That?
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. Here we are. Oh, here, let's do this.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We were smoking weed. Like, what the fuck? Somebody turns on switches? Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Marijuana Man. This is From Under the Influence. And as usual, here on Wednesday in Vancouver, high atop the cannabis culture headquarters, just north of High Score. Joining me today is Rose. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Vicky's here too.
Yay!
So
Back again.
yes, we're reeling from Vicky's shop. Got raided yesterday by the VPD and the Community Safety Unit. Came by. Took all her shit. So, yeah, it is just fucked up to see this happen again and continuing. My God. Cannabis is not legal in Canada, and Prohibition still continues as it always has. And further to that notion, Vicky's stand here in the world is dedicated to the rights of the indigenous people and their right to the land. And Vancouver is an open and has openly stated they are on unceded territory and they can fuck off.
That's basically what we're running with. Because
Yeah.
reconciliation has been acknowledged here in Canada when it comes down to generational trauma for Indigenous people all across North America and the world. So we need to face the fact that the government should not be in control of our medicine. We the people need to be in control of our medicines. We the people need to be in operations with healing each other rather than having the operations of the government as an entity trying to heal us with their synthetic medicines. So with our shop being shut down at the Stalk Market yesterday, it was pretty devastating because we're Indigenous owned and operated on unceded territory here in Vancouver. And myself representing being Indigenous, we need to have that acknowledgement. This is our reconciliation medicine. This is what we need to be acknowledged. This is our freedom. This is what needs to be acknowledged. This is our freedom for our people. This is going to be healing our land with hemp, with fibers, with potentials of gasoline coming straight from this beautiful plant that we need to observe fully with legalization. And the government is just having full control that is unacceptable. And having them come through a pretty intimidating, like yesterday, with over a dozen people taking and boxing up all of our items that were considered illicit cannabis. And what is regulated as illicit cannabis would be anything not regulated by the government. So
Yeah.
you yourself that grow your own medicine in your own home could be considered illicit cannabis. So us having our own shop, being able to grow our own, being able to provide for the public is pretty absurd because we need to be operating in more of a freedom for availability, considering there's an opiate crisis, there's people dying from fentanyl and worse crimes out there that the government needs to be more in depth with helping heal rather than getting these healing spaces raided or intimidating people to shut down or make it unaffordable for people to have these spaces, because we all deserve to have a space.
It's absolutely absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Like, beyond the fact that they don't have the fucking right to come in there and tell Indigenous peoples what they should and can do.
And they weren't hearing any of that when I was representing myself, doing live feed and continuously saying that I'm an Indigenous woman As an owner and operator of a healing space, we need to be observed here in unceded territory. And they wouldn't listen to any of that because they kept specifying that this is illicit. And with that being said, they're just a government entity that was just developed as of last year with legalization. This community safety unit that's not very safe at all because they're actually putting people into more harm's way without having the opportunity to get any cannabis from our shop or any shop that has been available, not within the structure of the Canadian government. So we gotta fucking change this shit.
Rose wrote a pretty good posting today, and
I can read that for you.
I think we should have her read it to you.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of talking about it. I think it's time for some action, and I had a lot of messages today, saying, well, we saw you on the internet, like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Is the state of colonial enforcement okay? No, it's not. There are a lot of things in this situation that aren't okay. CSU, which is the Community Safety Unit. I'll just stop there and explain quickly. It's a provincial construct, sort of like a little unit they made for themselves, right?
Little army.
Yeah, they're organizing their own like police forces, and has given them sort of like a large and wide latitude, right, around the law, right, the law that governs us all. CSU and VPD, which is Vancouver Police Department, came to the shop and without a warrant illegally searched and seized cannabis and cannabis products, calling them illicit. This is an Indigenous-run enterprise for all people, open to the public, on unceded territory, where people can get quality cannabis and hemp CBD products at better prices than the impotent government cannabis that helps all their ails and harms no one. I'm stressing harms no one. In determining if laws are unjust, last time I checked in Canada, the question of balance is, does violently enforcing a law against a plant and people that purvey a plant that harms and hurts no one create more harm within the enforcement itself than the cannabis plant could ever do? So, again, stressing prohibition has harmed more than cannabis ever could. The CSU employed VPD, armed colonial force, against us yesterday. Although no one was arrested, they searched and seized all stock and cash. No inventory list has been given to us forthwith. They left a pamphlet inviting us to apply for a 35K license to distribute their non-medical, that's the classification they use, shitty cannabis. Essentially, they want to invade Indigenous business, steal our product, and sell it back to us. Where have we seen that before? Fuck the government. Fuck the police. Yesterday's action by the province of BC and the Vancouver Police Department against Indigenous people rights upon unceded territory is unprecedented and will no doubt make case law and emerge to show the gross violation of rights, excessively enforcing unjust law, as well as 3 counts of assault upon female staff that I've witnessed and upon myself, who were present at the dispensary when 15 CSU and VPD armed officers, who many of whom would not identify themselves, flooded the shop without warrant, enforcing unjust law, assaulting women, taking entire inventory in cash, and they are not accountable for their actions, claiming the right to skirt due process and procedure under provincial jurisdiction. We stood like warriors. We didn't go without saying our piece and respond to the act of violence upon the people. We stood against those men with guns and tasers, putting their hands on us. Later, we turned away hundreds of people who sincerely want and need this plant, including elders, local homeless people, and a regular customer who's in a wheelchair. This is a fight they started. And I'm pretty sure they picked the wrong Indians to fuck with. Thank you.
Fuck yes.
Yes.
So
Very nicely put.
Yeah. I'm not certain how they're going to explain their ineptitudes and their obvious gross ignorance of the law, as well as the assaults that were conducted, legal search and seizure, excessive force, unjust law. There's so many things that are wrong with this on so many levels.
And it's just cannabis.
I guess they go in assuming that we just don't know anything. And so for a lot of us, this isn't our first rodeo. And so all you cowboys out there, you know who you are. Hi, thanks for tuning in. They're tuning in.
Oh yeah.
And hang on to your hats because you're in for a ride. That's all I can say, right? Because
we'll just get good lessons of Indigenous rights, because that needs to be heard within our policing system first.
So they could avoid a really expensive, ugly, long, drawn out thing, and just sit down with the people. Why can they not do this, right?
No money.
So they're acting like a bunch of thugs. They'll come and steal your product, and they'll say, well, you can have a license to get it. Maybe that's how they're supplying all their shitty cannabis stores.
It's like the people that are representing like the police or these entities, just talking to one of the main guys from the CSU this morning, and he's like, you know what? I'm just a sheep, and I just got to do what my boss tells me.
They all say that.
And it was just really fucking gross.
Do my job.
Why?
They always say that.
What kind of a person are you? Like, I can feel that you don't like your job. I can feel that you feel remorse with having to do this, because they were.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? We don't want to have to do this, but this is our job.
What?
It's like, what the fuck is that manipulation? Like doing the
It's
good
an
cop,
excuse.
bad cop, weird bullshit, but...
Yeah.
I
You're
hear
still doing the job for a reason. You like it.
Right? You get paid for it. You feed your family, and you provide your livelihood from that. Like, I don't think any good can come from money being earned like that. Do you? And I reminded them of all these things yesterday. And I don't mind speaking my mind freely in front of the police, right? Especially when they're like putting their hands on women and freely violating the rights of common, people and Indigenous people. Right?
And thank you for being on the outside, drumming and singing and getting the crowd, making noise out there, because I needed that while I was inside with 15 people,
right,
taking all my shit.
And the other thing I haven't addressed is at one point, and I did find out this morning that if they tried to lock the door the way they tried to, and I put my foot in the door and said, you will not lock this door, that is unlawful confinement. Do you know what that means? Unlawful confinement. You've not arrested anyone. Right, I said you will be unlawfully confining, right? And at that point, I think there was 3 of you left in there. 3 women against like 15 police officers armed, right? Armed Colonial.
And some of them were whispering, "You should arrest them," or like pointing out.
We
certain
overheard
people,
them
and
outside.
That's not an okay thing to.
The CSU was pressing for arrest of everyone, and the VPD clearly
they were getting a little
responded.
too fired up. That one guy was grabbing at one of the girls,
yeah.
and that's unacceptable.
Yeah, trying to grab her, and then made a second grab as she was walking away peacefully.
And wouldn't identify who he was.
No, he would not identify himself. A man twice her size and width.
So,
running to the back.
Intimidation, once again, it's like
Yeah.
older, middle-aged guys, some women coming
Who were doing all the heavy lifting. Did you see
women
that?
carried out all the boxes.
They were doing all the heavy
Except for one
lifting.
guy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they did it all. No, it was a terrible
It was
show
just a
of
gong show
nonsense.
and a
As
travesty of, injustice.
This community safety unit is a fucking just a spin doctor Frankenstein creation,
I was,
right? To community safety's in there, so there must be unsafe. I fucking hate that they can use this shit like that.
The overuse of the word.
And in reality,
safety.
what goes on in this case, for sure, is that the community there actually loves this shop. They all like that it's there. They've never had a problem. They've never had a complaint.
And
All around, the people came out and showed their support.
Right? Or, they looked scared. They looked scared of the police.
And fucking, here's a community safety unit keeping the community safe from something that has been shown that is not unsafe. Right? And the numbers of people coming by the shop as it was occurring to get their cannabis that isn't going to hurt them. What the
and on
fuck?
the other point, and I'm going to go here, right, is on the issue of Indigenous people and we being Indigenous women against the colonial armed force yesterday, right? And we're subject to being, some of the most murdered and missing people in Canada and in North America. And how is that providing safety? You motherfuckers. You just fucked with the wrong Indian, right? I'm here to tell you, right? We have it all on video. Every bit of this was documented. And you were in so much shit, right? So you have a wonderful day. Enjoy your paycheck. Better start looking for a new job. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that's reality. We don't need your safety unit when cannabis is the safest thing.
There's nothing.
We need the safety unit getting alcohol away from the communities.
Right? How is it?
Fentanyl,
Yeah.
other fucking invasive drugs that are damaging people.
Yeah.
Not this beautiful thing that is increasing people's longevity in life and wellness and happiness. And obviously they don't want people to be happy because they just want the sheep. Like that guy is plainly displaying he's okay with being. And I'm not okay with being a sheep. I don't want to be a sheep because
wannabe
I'm
sheep,
indigenous.
all of them.
This land is free. That's what we should be representing. That we need to have respect for each other.
So yeah, Prohibition's in full fucking gear here still in Canada. Now it's against illicit cannabis. It used to be illegal cannabis. Now it's illicit. Right? They just changed in letters here to, I don't know, to try and make money, but they don't, right? They're losing fucking millions across the board of taxpayers' money in this venture.
Yeah.
This experiment that they call legalization is a big fucking failure. All over cannabis news searches are the blah 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 year after legalization, blah 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 year after legalization, and they all conclude it's just been a total failure because it's crooked fucking nonsense.
Well, perhaps this is how they're provisioning their, failed money-losing stores is by search and seizure. Right?
Like, what the fuck? Like, it's just sad to have had to watch this again and still here in the modern fucking world, I thought it was.
And Masi Cho to Greg for holding down, that male energy, along with a couple of our other brothers, who stood with us and witnessed us, right? And they were yelling, things at the police, too. So, thank you.
We've had a fair amount of practice. In fact, the shirt I'm wearing, I was arrested in it.
Well,
I wore as a tribute today.
Thank you for wearing that today.
But, no, it's fucked when you do. You go through a lot of emotion and you're terrified and pissed off and fucking think everybody's looking at you and you're being followed and shit. But
fucking feeling it all.
You
Holy
feel that.
shit.
You feel that for a little while, but that goes away.
Yeah, you got to take good care of yourself, right? They want to wear down your spirit. They want to take away what's yours and yours alone, right? And see, that's what's so frustrating to them about cannabis and Indians, right? Is they can't control and measure us. Thereby, they cannot really colonize us, right? And, I guess they hope that we'd all died and gone away by now, but that's not the case. We have Indigenous rights upon unceded territory. You know, I can expand on that a little bit for anybody who doesn't understand. If anybody who wants to go and read on it, you know, go Google that shit, right? You know, it's worthwhile read. It's not like we're trying to take anything from anybody or kick anybody out of anywhere or, you know, claim anything that is not rightfully ours alone. All we are saying is that we have, and it's not asking, right? And it's not needing permission. I really want to be clear about that, right? Because, you know, this is unceded territory. We are all upon occupied and stolen land. And everything that from there benefits from such. It's not to say that we're entitled to anything or in land, but we do have rights. One of those rights is to grow, harvest, purvey, use,
Protect the land, water.
distribute, sell, give away, you know, cannabis. And anything that derives from that, we can do what we want with it. If we want to go
Exactly.
grow a field of hemp that will clean a river, well, damn it, we're going to do it. Right?
When it comes to
And-
any medicine that's been carried in any medicine person's pouch, they would carry their seeds, they would
Right.
carry
Exactly.
the dried material with them
So-
as offerings that we're representing that
Right.
in this modern reality where it's now legalized.
Exactly. You know, and Indian country is beginning to have very good understanding of this, right? Our elders, you know, support us, right? Some of them will even come right out and say so. But, you know, it's like, and they use these medicines, like, you know, in forms of oils and ointments and things, and it helps them, and it makes them feel good, and it keeps them off pharmaceuticals, the pharmaceuticals that cause them to fall down the stairs. And it causes them that they can't drive anymore. It immobilizes them. It creates health problems, stomach and organ problems, you know. So this stuff is helping our elders, right? It's helping the people who are ill, right? It gives them comfort. It gives them, you know, some pain-free hours or days, right? That they normally wouldn't have. And it's not just about people who are sick, right? You know, lots of Indian country has PTSD. Right, from all the colonial trauma we have endured in our lifetimes and the stuff that I believe we carry within our DNA going back
Definitely.
generations. So, you know, this stuff helps. It helps, it helps, it helps. And I can't stress that enough. So that from there, I'm going to segue into what unjust law is, right? And if you Google that, you will see in terms of the Criminal Code of Canada that unjust law is defined as such that the enforcement of the law far exceeds any harm, right, that the, like, you know, cannabis being the substance, right, could ever create in itself. Meaning that what we experienced yesterday is far more harmful than anything this plant in itself could ever do. Prohibition in itself is harmful. That's the harm that's being caused. Right? So if we want to engage in harm reduction, how about less of this CSU? And who the fuck are they anyway? A self-appointed construct by the Attorney General of British Columbia, and believe me, we're going to have a word, right? Oh yeah, I will be relentless.
Yeah, they're just making up as much as they can.
I'm ready to shake things up with them.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking sad. But potentially we continue. As
feel like-
always,
right.
as this is what we're left with
Mhm.
with cannabis. They just
Right.
fucking ignore the truth about it.
Well, every approach has been attempted. No? Right? Every peaceful mean, every approach has been attempted. Nobody wants
Well-
to actually just sit down and talk.
They've never given us an actual list of what is wrong with cannabis that we should
Hello.
be worried about.
And guess what?
What is it?
Right?
Give us the list so I
Yeah.
can make sure people know.
Right? So,
Oh, it's you? Fuck. Oh, I see how this works.
and so it's about who gets to purvey it, right? And in a thug manner, and this is how they're going to do it. Because the truth is this, right? This cannabis, medical cannabis, non-medical
Illicit,
cannabis. It's all the same
legal.
fucking cannabis,
It is.
Exactly.
right?
That's
And plenty of people who
That-
don't have a license and who aren't sick use it,
it's the cannabis that's not dangerous.
right? And I'll dare to stray and say that it probably helps them prevent many ailments that they may have otherwise had. and they get to enjoy, a quality of life, right? I wish I'd been smoking cannabis my entire life, right? But I wasn't.
Well, yeah.
I stopped for a
luckily
while because
I have been.
I was terrified that if they found out I had kids at home, and I didn't smoke cannabis for 16 years because I was that terrified of prohibition, being an indigenous woman, to have my children removed from my fucking care because I would, if it was discovered I used cannabis. Right?
Tragically.
Yeah. So I probably could have saved myself tons of health problems, all kinds of, like PTSD bullshit, right? From being continuously allowed to use cannabis, right? Which would have been termed as recreational, right? Well, whatever. I think there's preventional. There's a word for you, right? Preventional. Let's make a new classification of preventative medicine, like a vitamin, or another benign, harmless substance, right? Water. What the fuck is wrong with people? They just don't even know. And I wish they would just educate themselves a little bit. It's not rocket science, right? Try a little bit, it won't hurt you.
Well,
right?
they apparently it doesn't matter across the land what cannabis is or is not. The people who are out there just fucking banning it as hard as they can throughout our society now. Marijuana is legalized, but they're still banning it. There's some fucking association of employers who overwhelmingly want zero tolerance. Mm-hmm. You want to work for me, you can't smoke any cannabis at any time. Right? They've come out and said this.
Yeah.
You go, oh my God.
So,
hello,
Vicky.
David Malmo Levine.
Was that your first bus?
In that order.
It was my first buzz.
Hey, you popped your cherry! Just like a good fellow.
Thanks for that, the bus cherry.
Yeah, well, are you going to fight it in court?
Absolutely.
All right, anything I can do to help your lawyer win, you just let me know. I'll send him all my stuff.
You're amazing, David.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Give him hell.
Oh, we will.
Give him hell.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Support from everyone. Everyone wants us to exist, and more of these spaces need to exist out there.
There's a need for them because everywhere you go here in No Vancouver, right? It's a no city. No pets, no smoking, no cannabis, no this, no that. Well, where the hell are people supposed to go? Stand out in the alley, behind their own homes?
Give us some space in the sewer or something. Right? Maybe we could get further away from you.
Somebody will complain of the stink then, really, it's just ridiculous. Go on, people, be grown-ups, We all got to share a lot of, a lot of people have to share a little bit of space. Let's just all give each other a little more latitude around here and the right to exist. Right? And do your own thing. You're not always going to fucking like what the people around you do. Believe me, I experience it every day. Right? So, but guess what? You got to be a grown-up and, to a certain extent, you just carry on and move forward. Otherwise, you'd never get a thing done or you'd go crazy. So, y'all can do the same thing. If you don't like what's in your neighbor's yard, don't fucking look. Right? If you don't agree with the smell of cannabis, well, then close your window for a little while, right? And maybe your neighbor has, a back that he doesn't talk about, right? That you don't know nothing about his life, right? Or whatever. Or, if somebody just wants to chill in their own backyard that they work their ass off to be in, right? And mind your own damn business.
Yeah, we're all fucking paying to survive and live around here.
And, the cannabis shops, they're not hurting you. They're not encroaching upon anybody's territory, spaces, or anything, right? We are fortunate and have, the love and blessing of the Musqueam people, right? And, they're happy. They're happy we're here. The Indian people, all the Indian people I've spoken to, they're so happy that there's a place where they feel welcome.
And that's it. We're representing that we need more healing spaces that are Indigenous based.
Yeah.
We need more businesses that are indigenous that get different licensing. You know, we need to establish different licensing programs altogether, as well as
Yeah, that one. The
we
Windsor Star.
need to establish reconciliation.
You
And this
know-
is my reconciliation with having my healing space with medicine that helps me throughout my reconciliation.
Yeah.
My trauma that I've been
Right.
going through of generational traumas.
Yeah.
So it's there within everyone. Everyone's been taken from their homeland of some way and form out there in the world and been brought here, and we got to live together. But understand, we got to respect the land and the nature that indigenous people have been living here and surviving, because that's what's going to continue our longevity to survive here in this world. So,
Right. So, you know, like, everybody thinks these are all very separate issues, but like land defending, cannabis purveyance and growing, hemp fields, all these things, right? Green energies, right? They're not. They're all interconnected. They really, truly are. Because, you know, land defense isn't happening without cannabis. Trust me. If cannabis were to, like, you know, completely stop as the way it is, the way we see it, there's a lot of stuff that wouldn't be getting done.
Yes.
You know, honestly. Right?
That's who's doing everything. It's not the people who are drunk. Right? Or hungover.
In fact, they cost society a lot of money, and
Don't-
it's like a
don't
little
mind.
dirty secret, right? You know,
Yeah.
I've been looking at the stats again about how much, you know, like drunken driving costs the public. I've been looking at how much it costs, like, you know, how much lawyers make off these things, right? You know, the construct of crime, right, is an interesting thing, and I should know I studied it for 5 years. And you know, I've seen things, you know,
From
a
what
different
side?
from a different angle, right? I've seen it from a few sides, right? I've never worked for law
from a few
enforcement. I'll
sides.
say that on camera in public, right? Absolutely not, right? In fact, you know, I kind of walked away from a lot of things because they're all designed to feed the system, right? It's impossible to work, or, you know, like, and they don't let you do these things like freelance, right? You can do it within certain capacities or agencies. And they're all government funded, and they're all, you know, about doing what the government tells them to do, right? And I'm really fucking tired of, like, the government having their dirty little fingers in every little pie, right? And needing control of every single little fucking thing, right? You know, and they know nothing. They know nothing about this, which they make, they legislate and try to enforce. They know nothing, right?
And everybody in the fucking land
Okay.
is deciding whether or not they should have cannabis. If cannabis should be anywhere near them. I ran into this story that, did you find that Oldcastle thing?
Anyway, sorry to go on and on. It sounds like I'm just proclaiming for Indigenous rights, okay? It's not just that. Once again, Indigenous people are going to step forward and lead the way for rights for all people, okay? So when Indigenous land defenders, this was I was going to close the first thought with when I strayed off into God knows where. Anyway, a nice joint. And, you know,
Which
that land...
one?
And here I go again. I've forgotten my thought.
17
Fuck
joints.
off, right, 17 joints later.
Whoa,
you know,
I got
I can't
stoned
complete a
off one of
full
those.
sentence or a thought. Well, that's not bad, you know. Like, yeah, we'll just blame it on, you know, some timers or something like that. But yeah, go ahead with your. Did you find your story? I was just gonna fill, and then you.
Well, yeah, we did find the story, but I just wanted to use it to illustrate the, like, it's just cannabis. They're so against fucking cannabis in my world now because upon legalization, it came down to everybody and his fucking brother thinking they need to decide about it. It's an issue that they need to decide about. So some resident association in a place called Oldcastle in fucking somewhere in Canada.
Oldcastle.
Where is that little thing?
I love how you can just pop up the story and put it on
Yeah,
the
that's
screen.
so
That's
cool.
so fucking cool. Anil is running the ship today. Yay, Anil.
This
Yes.
is what in
Shout out,
southern
Anil.
Ontario.
Nothing would happen
Oldcastle.
today without Anil.
Now, the Friends of Oldcastle Development Group, FOOD, is the acronym they came up with out of that somehow.
Food!
As well as unaffiliated concerned citizen appeared before the town council to speak out against a future marijuana grow-op in their area.
Really? They got no say, really.
Their greatest concern, Judy, the co-founder of FOOD,
Judy!
said the facility,
My name's Judy, and I have
because
Judy.
nobody knew about it. They said even today there are residents very close who have no idea that possibly they could wake up and there would be a cannabis facility in their backyard.
It's going to smell up my house.
Now,
Jim's just been renovating my house.
Judy with the duty.
the application where we have to find the date it's slated to come into existence, this cannabis grow-up.
This is so fucked up. It's just down the drain hole we go. It's not even a rabbit hole. It's a fucking drain hole. It's just gross. Right?
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe closer to the top it said, because I saw the story earlier today. And this is slated to happen. What the fuck?
Did it get changed?
Yeah, I'm just gonna see if I can find the date.
It could have gotten changed, you know. Maybe they were told, take that out of there.
Well, it said
Oh, look, there's two stories. There's another one on top of that on the iHeartRadio. And there's a couple other ones.
Oldcastle.
Anyway, so once again, the duty to lead the cause in land defense, cannabis for all people, lies upon, it seems to be upon Indigenous people. So we will exercise our rights under the Constitution. We will exercise our
Absolutely.
rights. You want to play? Okay, we'll do it one more time in your court, right? You want to do it? Okay, you started a fight, right? And so, in the end, I'd say, like legal costs are included too, right? Roll that in there for sure. And, this is going to end up being really like, a stupid mistake. And they're going to learn from this, like it or not. And, even if you don't use cannabis, and why on earth would you be watching this show if you don't? But, for the people that don't, right? Consider it's not just about pot. Right? It's not just about, oh, you don't like oil, right? And it's not about that, right? It's about changing systemic oppression, right? It's about changing it all so that we have alternatives, we have choices. We're not going to be fossil fuel dependent. We're not going to be, pharmaceutical dependent. We're not going to be, dependent on all these systems and doing exactly what the government wants us to fucking do. Even though we know it's harmful, right? Give the people alternatives. They have freedoms. They have rights. We all do. So this attempt at social control is not going to work. It's going to fail. It's just going to fail, and you're violating everybody's rights along the way. I mean, it's definitely going to fail, right? A prosecutor would never accept the case. They would just rule in our favor. They would recommend that you settle, right? Which is what's going to happen. You know that, right?
That's it. And once they establish their bogus rules with anything in life, the laws are going to have to be bent because people are going to exist in them and realize that it's not going to be what they had expected it to be like. So here, let's change it for the better for everyone to be able to thrive, and not just for Indigenous people, but for everyone.
For all people.
We need everyone to be able to have the freedoms and rights to be able to open up their own shops and spaces.
And choose how they want to take care of themselves.
Exactly.
Right? We're not saying throw away your pills. I'm saying, you have alternatives. You have choices. Right? And yeah.
Well, from our perspective here, we see, as we stood inside the shop yesterday and all the time since, the people coming to the door looking to get a little bit of cannabis
Yeah.
in wheelchairs and
They scrape
people
together
we know who are homeless and
enough for their daily joint.
right, and
that's it.
And
everyone.
often there's a lot of giveaway involved, right? So it isn't just about making money. No. A lot of giveaway goes on, right?
It's true, and people feel it. They feel that we're compassionate with the pricing because it shouldn't be the pricing that it is with the government. We got to bring the prices down. These pricing that is existing for even $10 a gram. Like, it should range in between $2 to however much that people want to be exercising the pricing, because there is really good weed out there that people take time and effort into creating.
Intention.
Exactly.
Intention is everything when you're growing, right? And this is one
It's like
thing
when you
we
buy
know.
blueberries or raspberries in the wintertime, it's going to be
Right.
way more expensive.
Jesus, it's not, you're not even supposed to be eating that stuff unless it's dried, in the wintertime. Like, we don't eat naturally. We don't, we need to, like, really get a little bit closer to what's going on, closer to the earth, right? And I don't know, I think we need to really open our minds about
It's
lot
all
of
about the
things.
stigma that they've created around cannabis, that they get the
Absolutely.
support of the fucking world
Mm-hmm.
because they lied about the dangers or the potential dangers over and over and
Well,
over again.
even calling things that has anything to do with safety when they conduct themselves like that, like, go fuck yourself.
Well, no, it's an ad campaign for their program.
Right.
To put the idea in the head of the public that there's some safety needs to be protected here.
Yeah, well, they
Why
hear the
would they
word
use the
safety,
word
right? And they
fuck
go,
off?
oh, okay. Oh,
Like a-
okay, it's about safety.
I don't know. It's just sad how they
Duty with a duty.
trying to pull this all off. No, at
I'm Karen and I'm
every
declaring.
level, right? Provincial government who comes along with their fucking big giant program, and then the community safety unit was created solely to get rid of the illicit cannabis.
They're the same
Right?
seeds. They're coming from the same place.
Fucking
like,
same
Yeah.
weed.
legal or
Right.
illegal. It's the same fucking stuff.
It's cannabis. It does the
And
same
then they fall
thing.
back on the idea, oh, it hasn't been tested for all the pesticides.
If you know what to look at,
Nobody's
People-
getting hurt by it.
damn, read a book, open your eyes. Talk to somebody
Can't
who
you
knows.
tell if your marijuana's
Like,
been pesticided?
It's so, it's...
And the reality is that we go in our daily lives with not asking these questions with everything that we're ingesting into our bodies.
Pretty much.
All of a sudden it's with cannabis, something that is new to being legalized. It's under the microscope. What about candy bars? That's probably not the best thing for us.
Right?
You know,
Stop
fruit
sugaring
have
up.
pesticides on them. I don't know what's on them or coming from another country.
Well,
Sometimes
you know.
it's carrying spiders or something.
See, and that's the other thing.
Like identifying those should be
Sure.
more of a safety concern.
Or
rather
fentanyl. Hello. Yeah.
than the number one thing that has been killing
Opioid.
people in our downtown east side.
Opioid
we
death.
gotta figure out how we can help these people, and that's by allowing for these places to exist. Any healing center, cannabis
Exactly.
related or not, we need to have all these spaces existing.
Yeah. So, all you people who like doctor yourselves or whatever you do for yourself, right, with cannabis, right, you need to speak up. I mean, I don't mean you need to do what we're doing here today, but I think, Vicky, you got a petition that's going to be created.
Yeah, come into the shop. I would love to even get video testimonials.
Yeah, and
And
let's
if
see.
there is anyone that really needs cannabis out there and has been moved by our shop and what we're doing, come by. I would
Yeah.
love to talk to you, and
Are you anywhere on the internet?
we're gonna have that set up.
Good. Yeah,
So,
working on that, right?
It's
gonna
still
take.
being worked on.
Yeah.
So it's been a heavy past day here. So getting back into
Yeah.
just feeling a little bit like myself again, because that was fucking traumatizing, you guys. Holy fuck. Like, it's heavy just having a bunch of
Yeah.
people come in and violate you on
yeah.
those levels. Of,
Take all your stuff.
So my
wow,
sister.
you're taking the stuff that I know that
Yeah.
thousands of people could enjoy it.
So my
you know,
sister
just
doesn't
by
feel
sharing
safe.
every joint.
Right? My sister doesn't feel safe. Right? Community safety unit.
Yeah.
I don't feel safe from your armed thugs. Community
Right, and I kept
safety
telling them I
unit.
feel intimidating by you guys. They're
Yeah.
like, why? Why do you feel intimidating? Like,
Yeah.
well,
I witnessed a man.
there's a lot of you, and I'm the only one in the space with you.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. It's just like,
Yeah. I witnessed
Really
a man try to
isolating.
rip a backpack off a woman half his fucking size.
yeah.
And then make her grab for her again as she peacefully walked away.
And I don't even think he was a police officer. I
He's
think he
part
was
of this CSU who wouldn't identify himself. He's on video. We have him loud and proud
Yeah.
doing his thing, and he won't talk. But guess what? He's like absolutely clearly identifiable.
And it's fucking
No.
terrifying.
Sad display.
Like,
Yeah.
why'd you guys hire these people? They're not very safe. They're not safe at all. They're intimidating us. They're not acknowledging indigenous rights and freedoms as
They
well
won't
as
identify themselves.
acknowledging how safe cannabis is.
Their
Have you
own
used
law.
it? No, they've never used cannabis. If you're part of the safety unit, shouldn't you be obliged to try cannabis to figure out whether or not it suits you or not, to fucking figure out your life?
Yeah.
But no, you're a sheep.
Ugh.
And
So none of the VPD, they were all there just to guard the whole fucking thing, right?
They didn't look like they wanted to work together.
And
Yeah.
so it was the community safety unit that was doing all the work. And
VPD standing around, putting his hands all over me in the doorway. Jesus.
so, like, really? Like, you really figure
Yeah.
you need some arm protection? Like, I don't know. I guess
Right?
if thugs were taking over and stealing all my shit at the shop, saying I wasn't selling the right weed, I guess they'd pull back their coat and show you they were armed. And, right?
right?
Just like every other thug group.
And they were doing that on the sidewalk too. They were just like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hands
And I'm
on.
like, yeah, cool.
Hands
Keep
on
your hands
holsters.
where I could see them, boy.
You know, those guns make you look fat.
Yeah.
The fact
No.
that they fucking just put a handcuff on one of my hands, anyways.
They tried to
When the
manhandle.
whole stir up happened with one of the girls in that CSU person,
Yeah.
just
And
tried to
then-
grab the girl,
Yeah.
said no consent of touching anyone.
We have that all
You have
on
no
video.
accusations of
Yeah.
her even having anything in her backpack, and she didn't have anything in her backpack that was related to being
Well, they
with
didn't end up
Soar.
searching it
It's
anyway.
all documented,
It's
Vicky.
fucked. I
It's
know. I had
all
a camera in their face the
documented.
entire time, and they
And
tried
I
to
had
take my
it
camera
outside. I had it
as my
outside.
hand was behind my back from the police
Right?
officer behind me.
They were trying to like manhandle our sister. Like 4 of them just closed
The
in.
rest of them just
and-
packing up everything,
Yeah.
and holy shit, that's
And I'm just-
intimidating.
yeah,
It's
I
intimidating
was
as
just-
fuck, and it's unnecessary because thought it was legalized. Thought that we can move past with reconciliation for us to get past intergenerational trauma
And
of
yet,
Native people.
Yeah.
having a colonial armed force unleashed upon us again, just merely exercising the right to,
And
help people, essentially, right? I guess it's a crime to help people now. They say like, well, why aren't they focused on the downtown east side? I'll tell you why. Here's some fucking hot tea, okay? Right? They want people who are in the downtown east side and who find themselves in deep misfortune and deep trouble. They want them gone, right? And fentanyl is like, I think purposely, intentionally allowed to be there. Otherwise, why wouldn't they go after people? They could end this epidemic anytime, and I believe that. And there are certain pharmaceutical companies that are making billions and billions of dollars, and I'm sure they control a lot of our food and the things we consume as well. Anyway, they don't want cannabis helping people. They don't want people's lives being saved. They don't want nice, happy endings for all of us. There truly are people, monsters in this world who think that there are certain people that don't deserve to exist, right? because for whatever reasons they have.
Monetary
And it's disgusting, but I mean, I don't know. You look at the results of the vote, right? The Conservative
there
didn't
was an
lose by
election.
that much. Okay? Like, let's look at it honestly. And there's a lot of people
No,
who
it's
hold
just a
some really
little-
dim views, right? About cannabis, about Indigenous people, about our rights and our fundamental rights for all people, right? In Canada.
I never looked at too much of the election, but the one thing that I did see was the color of Alberta.
Oh God, it's like blinding. It's blinding.
Elections have
it
become
blue?
colors now.
It's like looking at a laser blue. Right?
Yeah, it was blue.
With the tiny little red dot in there
The
somewhere.
color of this fucking thing of the entire province.
Yeah.
Holy
Fucking
fuck.
blue. I think maybe there was some swath in the south that
Yeah.
was some other color, but no, Liberals came away with a little slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how Canadian politics works.
Well, you know,
People said, no, we don't want the Conservatives yet. But you'd better fucking snap to it, I guess. I don't know. It all worked out the same as it always does.
Yeah.
One is close to the other one.
I'm pretty sure that was all fixed up anyway.
And then the NDP is 25%. They get 20, right? They get 25 seats. Is that what they got in the NDP?
25 seats.
They always have. That's always where they've been. And anybody else who comes along is way, way behind that. Liberals,
result.
Conservatives, neck and neck every time. Right? The fix is in. Doesn't matter. They're all the same. It's just a color. Just a color. Isn't it? Different color. Oh, it's a blue one.
Oh, well, there we go. See? Not far behind.
24 seats, the NDP. That's very typical. The Bloc, of course, even beat them for some unknown reason. To no avail. Is that a French word? I said it with an accent.
Aval.
To no avail.
Aval.
You have to look angry and shake your head. Or raise your fist. Or do something.
No, so it doesn't matter much. It won't change nothing. But one good thing, Ralph Goodale, whatever his fucking name is, who was kind of the spokes monkey for cannabis here since legalization, didn't win his seat wherever he was running. So he's out of the game.
Oh,
he's
and
out of the
that
game.
terrible man from Quebec, Maxime Bernier, right?
Yeah, Bernier got nothing. No,
Fuck
they
off.
didn't like his
Bye.
approach.
I wonder who he's
on
going to end up
everything.
doing.
No, yeah. So I don't know. The Greens, what they got 3. Come on.
And one independent,
There's one independent.
Jody Rabel Wilson.
Yeah.
We'll see. I find it astounding, though, that people who were just recently involved in like some serious criminal investigation are voted back into office.
Yeah, what the
That's
fuck?
all I gotta fucking say, right? You know. And,
What was she involved with that?
Well, that SNC,
Levine. The thing no one
Lavalin
can
scandal,
pronounce.
and, Lavalin.
No one
Scandal.
can pronounce the scandal. That's how
Harper,
they're getting away
that
with
Harper
it.
scooted away from neatly, right? And all his people, right? And then they wrote each other blank checks and fucking, hey, I'll cover that, bro, right? and so on to the tune of millions and millions, right? And whose millions are they anyway?
Huh?
How are politicians so bloody fucking rich? Right? And the rest, like half the country's starving, hello. Half the country's homeless, hello. Working people live in their cars, god damn it, you know, like there's a lot wrong, you know. And yeah, it's all interconnected.
Like these reefers.
Like these reefers, you know.
But we're very happy that no one was arrested.
No.
Well, yeah, see, this is another thing, right? It tells me right there, they know their whole thing's illegit. Right? It's not legit.
If it's such a bad thing and you're prepared to take all the stuff,
Yeah. They were
merit an arrest.
but
And it's not like a warning.
No. I stood
how do
right
you
by
fucking
behind
do that?
these goons, right, and listened to them, and they're so arrogant, they didn't even see me, right, and I'm listening right in on them fucking talking, right, and I've got it on like video too, right, and they're saying we and then they wanted everyone present arrested. VPD, I don't know if he was laughing but he could tell he was purposely trying to subdue his answer. But I heard we can't do that.
Yeah. They can't.
Because there's no
They
fucking
didn't have a
warrant.
warrant.
You fucking dummies. Right? Right? You almost think we're just so stupid.
So I don't know if how the police then allow these people to do something that is
Because the province has ordered it. So.
but the police, they themselves cannot do this without a warrant, yet they will support people doing it without a warrant.
Yeah, because
Isn't
the
that
province said
theft?
so.
They're just standing there while they steal all this stuff.
The province just like deputized some people. I don't know what, ex-SkyTrain cops? Like what? What the fuck, right?
The
This fucks.
Pinkertons? Pinkerton
Old
men?
security guards. Like
Oh,
gross,
no, these
right?
people
It was
were not,
gross.
Yeah.
They
was
weren't fit for
gross.
service.
Right? Anyway, if any of you have something to say to these people, maybe you should do you know the CSU site web address? Just
Oh, I bet they don't have
csu.bc.gov.ca or some fucking bullshit like that, right? I don't know. CSU. Yeah, not impressed. I bet.
Based out of Richmond.
Yeah.
They took it all
Yeah, I
away
think
in a
they were, like,
blue
Surrey.
pickup truck, which is fairly typical for fucking Richmond.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
And takes back to the farm.
4x4, fucking.
Ford 4x4, and it had a hardcover top on the back, right? And fucking
Not undercover at all.
They needed a second vehicle, right? And yeah, they just really.
The
yeah.
police protected the removal of this stuff.
It's all documented, right?
fucking-
Maybe
Like
when
somebody's
everything
gonna
is
jump
whatever, I guess you can go onto your page, your feed.
They
Right,
actually
and
called for
see it.
backup.
Other people
we
were
were yelling at
documenting it.
them.
Yeah, you
and,
could.
Really, they did. Two
I
more
have it
came
on
down.
video, right? I'm not going to share it till I share it with
They actually
council,
didn't
but
stay.
Yeah.
whatever's on there is on there, right? Still, but that was a live thing, so you can see for yourself, right?
I would prefer for people to come into the store so I could just talk to you and
Yeah.
love to hear your support and let's
come
get
and su-
stoned. Come on, let's
Yeah,
go get stoned
come on,
and
support our sister.
talk about how we can generate making these places happen across Canada because it's possible. There's been Indigenous people all across Canada making it happen without licenses from the government, but also some people have complied with those licensing. So there's both being available here in Canada, and it'd be great to be able to make our own licensing system when it comes down to any unceded territory.
Sovereign, right?
make
Sovereign
it
governance.
happen.
What's wrong with that? You think we're not capable of governing ourselves? What the hell? We've governed ourselves for 500 years of colonial armed force. And I told those men that yesterday too, right? We've seen the likes of you come and fucking go for 500 years and we'll see you out the door again, right? I know it, right? Because that's how things work in a circle, buddy, right? And they knew I was speaking the truth yesterday. So, yeah, I don't know if I don't know if they heard a thing I said, right? I don't really care, right? But, I had to say what I had to say yesterday, and, I'm glad I was able to come and support because I believe the work that's being done here is good and right.
And not everyone's going to understand, but
Yeah.
this is what I believe is true, that we need to be able to serve ourselves medicine in the way that we are at the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
And being Indigenous owned and operated, it's giving people the opportunity to think, whoa, maybe my nation can create a dispensary or a hemp land or some sort of way that I can heal my nation.
Absolutely.
And we've inspired so many people worldwide.
Right.
And they've inspired us to keep going. So let's just keep
seeds,
stemming that
seeds,
out there.
get seeds, grow weed. You know,
Exactly.
make your
We're
own
all
medicines.
capable of growing 4 plants legally here.
Make your own oils, make your own medicines, make your own everything you can learn to do yourself. It's simple. It's not rocket science.
If you're on your territory, start talking to your cousins, your family.
Right.
Get together. See what you can make. See what you can make without the government. See what you can make within your community where everyone can take part in it.
Right.
And that's what we're just stepping into a reality here on unceded territory.
Yeah.
We're stepping into a different paradigm where we can exist on this level and show medicine in the ways that it's no longer in prohibition, but it's now seen as illicit.
Yeah.
And what the fuck is that word
Yeah.
about?
Like even the dispensaries on the res, right? You know, like those, like the one I discussed last week, right? Who shall remain nameless but is on Evans Road in Chilliwack. Right? Like where you feel most unwelcome, right? I bet what's on the counter was someone's seized weed. Oh. In these little fucking sniff pods.
Holy
Did
shit.
I bitched about the sniff pods last week. Did I tell you about the sniff
No,
pods?
you didn't tell me
I'm
about
going to tell you
this.
again for anyone who missed it. Sorry for anyone who saw it. But like, okay, quickly. The sniff pods, you know, and it's like this little bubble that's sitting on a kind of looks like a stand, right? And it's like everybody's been touching this, and it has this little thing that pops open, kind of like a salt shaker would. And you're supposed to stick your schnoz right down there where everybody else has been sticking their snotty schnoz.
Ew.
And, you know, like sniff the weed. Which all looks the same. And, you know, it's got
Is it
that,
the smallest bud,
it's got
too?
that burst in the bloom, right? You know, that tells me it's not properly, you know, done, right? Without going into detail. And it all looks the fucking same. And I'm like, yeah. And then she opens the drawer and says, oh, there's no more gram bags left. I can offer you like a 3.5 or 7. Bait and switch. I'm like, what do you mean there's no more gram left? Like, just go make one, right? I can't do that. We're only allowed to make so many a day. And
What?
and then I saw other people, and they were given packaging. You couldn't see what was inside, and you were not allowed to open it in the store to look at what
That's
you bought.
crazy.
Absolutely. And she was so fucking rude, right? I don't often be treated that badly by another Indigenous woman, but I was treated badly there. I said, I'll pass, right? And they wanted to sell us a pre-roll for $8 that was from Bob's.
What? From Bob's?
Yeah. Done in a machine, it was shitty roll, and it was, you could hear it. Right? And see in the filter, you know? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll pass. I'll wait till Vancouver. I'm okay, right? Like, I'd rather smoke my own roaches, you know? Like, yeah, honestly. And I was, so this is the common experience, even on the res. So this is like who's taking over, right? And even upon the res. They're doing business in this way, right? I'm not so sure that, you know, everybody's down for that.
All right, you people, you've experimented long enough with cannabis. It's been a total failure for you. We don't want the whole thing to blow up in your face.
Yeah.
You'll have to miss school for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Before someone hurts themselves.
So, what? Holy fuck. What's wrong with somebody growing a very small batch of cannabis and selling it? What's wrong with that? When there's no evidence that anybody's ever been hurt from that.
Hello. Let's stop this safety unit based on what if.
Yeah, to stop
Right?
this
You sound like a
safety
paranoid
bullshit.
idiot when you stand there going, what if, right? You sound crazy.
Yeah, what if you get hit by a meteor? Isn't
Yeah.
that in your
And
equation?
the law says you cannot determine things on what if.
Huh.
No.
But you
It's
can
not
make
how
you
the
can
law
make
works. If they want to play like that, okay, let's play like that.
the law says you can't determine things by what if.
No.
But you can make a law based on what if.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So the fault lies with the making of legislation at the provincial, municipal level. And this is essentially what's being challenged here. And being allowed to carry out, what has already been determined in the Supreme Court of Canada. Right?
Yeah.
Hasn't it already enough? Yeah. So, what sort of benefit is the province receiving from behaving in this fashion, right? Besides
Nothing.
spending a lot of money, I imagine that raid yesterday cost them a bit. Eh? You think they'll recoup that? I don't think they'll recoup that. Not even close.
They won't. They don't even care.
Oh,
They've
they
been given
care.
huge sums of money to do such things. It's already been
so
allocated.
let's look at who's funding.
Whoa,
Who's
fucking Health
contributing
Canada.
to the city of Surrey and Richmond for these things?
The government. 'Cause
Follow the money, baby.
that's where the community safety unit's located, is in Surrey, because Surrey is the most unrelenting hater of cannabis there's ever been,
Well,
vis-a-vis a
always, right?
suburb. Right? The history of Surrey is they hate fucking cannabis. Even though that's where all of it was produced for the black market for the very longest time.
Yo.
But now, that's where they've said no to cannabis retail, as lots of places continue to do. No! So, Prohibition's in full swing and it sucks.
2.0. Prohibition 2.0.
No, I
It's like-
don't care about the legal industry because I care more about the prohibition that's still in place.
Right.
And what the fuck? It ain't over till it's over.
Yeah, where does this leave the rights for the rest of the people? Right? It's a plant. So it's like saying, well, you guys can have tomatoes, but the rest of you can't have tomatoes. Right? Or you guys can have vitamin D, but not you guys. Excuse me? Yeah. Mm-mm.
It's illogical, Captain.
Yeah, completely, right?
And there's a good reason for it, unfortunately. Crooked motherfuckers.
There's not a good reason. There's lots of excuses.
Yeah.
No good reasons. No, there's a huge gap between reason and excuse.
Well, their excuse is money. All right. Well, we should get out of here. We've overstayed our. I don't know. Have we overstayed?
No,
I don't think so.
we're on unceded territory. We wanted to sit here for the next fucking week. If we could.
So true.
If I wanted to sit here and hunger strike, what are you gonna fucking do about it? Right?
Oh, that's gonna be hard. Smoking
Yeah.
weed and going on a hunger strike.
Yeah, don't know me.
Be nourished by the weed. Well, sorry that this has happened to Vicky's Fine Shop. I'm
Right.
sure it'll be up and running snappy
Yes,
pretty
we're open
soon.
tomorrow,
Sister.
10 a.m.
Yeah.
Check us out, 3175 West Broadway.
So while this was going on, the barber from next door to the shop came out, who we've known for all these years.
Yes.
He came out and he's asked me what's going on. And I'm going, yeah, cops are in there taking everything. He goes, oh no, yeah, oh no. And said, well, they plan to open in just a day or so. And he was so happy. Big thumbs up.
Oh yeah.
The
Oh yeah,
neighborhood
total
loves
support.
us. Like,
They all do.
everyone fucking loves us.
The massage parlor the other way, they love us. Young brothers, maybe not so much. I know some of the brothers do.
The Chill
But no.
Brothers.
Deacons on the corner, the bake shop, it's a little community and they've always loved us and no harm has ever come to them or even a hint of it from that shop. We swept their sidewalks every morning for them.
Sure.
Got free cookies sometimes.
Why not?
But
Some of them are customers.
no, it's this
sometimes.
sham that's going on here about the dangers of cannabis, and this is what they all keep fucking pulling out. Going, what the fuck is going on?
Safety, safety.
So,
Right? Aren't you all tired of being told what's safe and what isn't? Like,
And the ravages of
On
now
any
this
level.
widespread prohibition, this widespread prohibition potential that they have of every community, every fucking little city town council getting together and going, wow, you know.
Yeah. And then there's like demand for to have insurance, right? To be insurable on top of that, right? So the banks got their fucking hands in there too now, right? Because we all know insurance companies are owned by the banks, don't we? Right? Yeah. Thank you. So yes, it goes on. Everybody's got their hand in the trough now, right? And it's disturbing, and yet the people who really are earning the real money are getting stepped on, right? Once again. And anyone who's doing any sort of social good is getting, they're attempting to stop again. Right? So I don't know what y'all think of that. Stay tuned. We'll have more news probably next week this time, about the petition and the website.
Come by the shop.
And and come
3175
West
Broadway, Vancouver.
Right? Upon unceded territory.
Right.
Indigenous owned and operated.
We'll be back and running tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. So come check us out. We'll be there.
Right.
As we will continue onwards with what we know is right, getting this medicine out to people that need it.
Yeah.
So.
Sometimes you gotta warrior up, and this
Exactly.
is one of these times, and
Well, it's been my pleasure to have such strong women on the show today. You
Cheers,
two
thank
are
you.
fucking really strong, and a pleasure to stand beside them. And it's
Hi.
just cause on both sides of the issue, for sure. The indigenous and cannabiness. I don't know. There's got to be a word we can make up somehow. But yeah, on we go. And thanks for tuning in as always. Thanks to Anil for making the shot wide enough to fit us all in the frame.
Here we are, squeezed in.
And we'll be back next week. So until then, I'm Marijuana Man. Peace and pot. That illicit.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
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 Hi. It's high noon here in the studio.
Look at it. Look at the bud. Right there.
And it was just like so many people, and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. I was like, I have to cross it.
Acronyms, baby.
I love
So you
how
paid
they're
$8
like,
for half a pencil.
I love
just put it out there.